Okay, so here are the basic ingredients that you're gonna be needing to make kimchi. We got some Daikon radish here. We got Napa cabbage. You can also put an onion. I'm out of onion, so I'm gonna use some powdered onion. We need salt, sweet rice flour. I'm just gonna use tapioca starch as a substitute. Carrot, ginger, garlic, and really anything else you want to put in there in terms of spices and veggies. We also need some sugar for the porridge. I'm going to be adding a little bit of shrimp paste to get sort of that seafood flavor. This is the secret ingredient, the red pepper powder. You can't use cayenne because it's going to be way too spicy. These are a lot less spicy. So go ahead and pick some of this up in the Asian store, and I'm going to add some fish sauce. It's all going to get packaged in these fermentation containers here. I do have airlocks for them. You don't really need the airlock. You only ferment it for about a day or two. So you can also just use, release the pressure occasionally. So that's really all you need to get started. And in the next section, I'll be putting the instructions together. So the next step is to cut up your Napa cabbage. The pieces are going to be quite a bit bigger than they would if they were sauerkraut. So we can leave them sort of in this larger size. You're going to put them in a bowl, and then you're going to add about half a cup of salt for sort of a large cabbage head that we had here. Put it all together, you basically salt it, you mix it up, and then you're going to let it sit out for a few hours. Okay, so this is the cabbage after about 2 hours, and as you've seen, you can see the salt has drawn out the liquids, and the cabbage itself has become a lot more pliable. So the next step is basically to wash the cabbage, give it about 3 rinses to get the salt out. So the next step is to go ahead and cut the daikon into really small pieces, and I'm going to be using the food processor for that. You can also do it by hand, of course. So the next step is to make the base, which is 1 cup water, 1 tablespoon tapioca starch, if you don't have sweet rice flour, and 1 tablespoon sugar. Bring this to a boil, add the ingredients, stir it up, and that is your base. Alright, so this is how I make the kimchi paste. I basically took 1 cup of the red hot pepper flakes, took a teaspoon of this, it's like Vietnamese dried shrimp paste. Took 1/4 cup of fish sauce, add a little bit minced onions in just because I didn't have fresh onions. And of course we add in the base that we made earlier with the water and the tapioca flour and the sugar, and then we mix it all up. I've also added in the garlic pieces that we cut earlier and the ginger, and this is the paste. And so this paste is going to go in with the cabbage. We're going to mix it up. We'll put in the daikon, mix it up, and package it. Alright, so as already stated, you take the cabbage, the daikon radish, you mix it up with the paste that we just discussed, and I would suggest wearing gloves. It can get quite messy, especially when you try to pack it into these mason jars. After it's packed in, these have an airlock. It's not absolutely necessary. If you don't have one, keep opening up the container every few hours. And you basically let it ferment for between 1 and 7 days, depending on your liking. You can eat it immediately if you'd like, but it is a little better if you ferment it. That's it. Look forward to seeing you again. Come visit us at earthlychow.com.